Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with BB, and today for 10 minutes max, we're going to be doing a general market update. I'm going to share a few charts with you guys. I think we'll probably start with Bitcoin, talk about USDT.D, total, and then maybe some altcoins if we have time. But I'm going to try to stick to 10 minutes. I never really seem to be able to. But before we dive into the charts, if you could do me a solid, please consider liking and also subscribing. Again, thank you guys so much for the consistent daily support. We're actually going to start here with Bitcoin. This is something that I've been sharing with my Discord basically since we were over here in this region. I was like, look, guys, we have been in this range from when we marked up here at the very end of February. We've basically been here for 2 months. All right. End of February is right here. And now it's the last trading day of April. Things look a little bit heavy, no question. And I've been telling them, and I can move this over now at this point because obviously time has passed. I said, you have to keep this sort of back of mind. All right. You have to keep this back of mind. I don't know if it will happen or it won't happen, but this is not a death sentence or anything like that. But, there are some lows here. I have them marked out as well at 59. It wouldn't surprise me to see us dip down here a little bit. But again, we are also, I think contextually, it makes sense to acknowledge that we are sitting at a 2-month range low. And in the video yesterday, if you guys saw it, we have a very backloaded week. All right, we have FOMC in 24 hours. We have initial jobless claims and jobs data coming out tomorrow. 2 days from now, Thursday, and then the U.S. unemployment numbers come out on Friday. So we're sitting at a 2-month range low for Bitcoin in a very backloaded with data, very important economic data week. Additionally, it's the last trading day of April, so there's sort of end of month volatility and shakeouts. So as a trader, right, I don't really view this as like a high RR setup. Like if you were really bearish here, you'd probably be looking at this. You draw a volume profile and you'd say, all right, this is, here I can, I'll put all our value areas on and I'll make this a little bit thicker. This is the only like concerning thing right here is this little void that we have from this markup. All of this is just kind of, it's a little thin, right? So typically what you see with something like this is, you would see like, us come back in, fill like half of it and move up, which would be, in my opinion, a nice deviation from our range. Nice little shakeout, nice little bear trap, but it really doesn't change anything for me personally. If we come back in and we fill in this little void, FVG gap, whatever you want to call it, that would kind of be all I'm looking for is like, maybe we touch 57, something like that. I also do have these two moving averages on. This is a 12 SMA, or I'm sorry, we're on the 12-hour time frame. So this is a 200 on the 12-hour. This is a 200 SMA and a 200 EMA. And the reason I'm here is just because you kind of fit it in hindsight, but we've been more or less respecting these levels for a while here. You can see that all throughout the bear market. Again, rejection, finally flip it, we hold it, deviate below a couple times, but even here you can see we held it, lost it, rejected off of it. Again, you can see the interaction with these two MAs. So, they're right below current price action. I think they're notable, something to maybe keep an eye on if it's just kind of a mean reversion bleed. We'll see if we end up deviating, but again, in my opinion, not a great RR to be shorting into range low. I guess if you thought we were going to go really deep, you could maybe look for something like this, maybe still 1.5 RR, us going from here to 54. I just don't like it personally. I don't like it personally. So anyways, I think Bitcoin looks solid here. Like it's at range low, maybe consider the possibility of a deviation, but beyond that, really, I don't think you're going to get too much, truthfully. So, all right, let's keep it moving here. So let's jump over to USDT.D. You guys know my position here has been, we are basically coming back in to a really, really critical level here. Just a quick little summary for those that haven't seen the previous videos on this. There's a negative correlation between USDT.D and something like, let's just put up total real quick. And I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. So I won't get all fancy with it. I'll just kind of quickly show you. I'll just leave it up here. So this is all of crypto down here. You can see pretty clearly that, when USDT.D goes up like this, at that same exact time, crypto's going down again. And the idea behind this is USDT dominance is Tether, so the largest stablecoin represented as a percentage of the total piece of the crypto pie. So this is a percentage. Right now it's at 5.09%. When it moves up, that means that Tether is gaining market share, meaning people are selling crypto into Tether. And when it's going down, that means that people are selling Tether into crypto again. So perfect negative correlation. I still think that, this is kind of your distributive region. Like, right here, you might just see kind of like this, and then you'll ultimately roll over. And I am expecting much lower prices. So I guess it's possible for USDT.D. In my opinion, worst case would be probably like here, this blue region, maybe 5.6, maybe if things got kind of nasty out there, you could maybe see a wick up there. But I generally think that this is just kind of coming back for a little retest. And truthfully, I would be expecting this region to get tagged as a target to the downside, which would be sub 3%. So I am looking for this to, again, distribute, roll over. Maybe you get that, final wick up. I don't really think so, truthfully. But I would be looking for this to roll over. And then locally, you could maybe draw like a trend line like this. And, we'll see. It's probably somewhere like this. And we'd look for it to roll over, which would then send crypto much higher. Let's take a look at total. I've got some higher time frame fibs set out here. So this is kind of my first target for, in my opinion, the early phase of this bull market would be this 1.618 fib extension getting tagged this year. So comparing it to last cycle, there's a lot of similarities, but we take it from our high to our low, so our cycle high to cycle low. Again, this is total, so this is all of crypto. Again, same thing here, from our high to our bear market low, 1.618 extension. What's really incredible is that zooming in here, looking at where we topped last cycle, we literally topped at the 1.618 almost perfectly. So you can't tell me that it doesn't work. It really, like, we were within like a percentage. So again, we just drew our fibs and we let the rest just sort of happen however it happened. But we topped perfectly at the 1.618. I would look for that level to play once again. Additionally, with all of the macro coming up, I've seen a lot of people kind of pointing out this June rally, right? Saying, oh, well, look what happened when the Fed began to cut. Bitcoin put in a top. Here, I'll put this in red. And to them, I say, yeah, well, I have the probabilities table from the CME group on what the market's currently pricing in for Fed policy. And right now, the market's pricing in cuts sometime in between September and December as the most likely outcome. So I really am expecting us to continue to rally and potentially target this 1.618 all the way through the Fed pause. And then potentially we have a bigger correction here, similarly to June. So you would see this, and then maybe up here from higher, you would see, that big correction, after the Fed begins to cut sometime end of this year or early, 2025. So I really think that, all through the Fed pause, similarly to what we saw over here. And again, we're kind of in like a prolonged version, in my opinion, kind of a prolonged version of this little mini Fed cycle that we saw over in 2018, 2019. I, again, would expect the same thing to more or less play, where we're still in that Fed pause. And until we are out of it, I still think there's good times ahead. The market structure looks good. I'm just still long. I'm just chilling in spot. Recognize that there could be some local volatility, but until presented with new information, I don't really see, a reason to pivot. And one more thing to point out here that I'd like to just draw a comparison to. I don't know what this is. Delete this. Let's put up Bitcoin. So one thing that I have been pretty focused on is something gets above a previous complacency shoulder. What can happen? Let me do this. I'll put it over here just so the timing lines up. Bitcoin USD. All right. So let me just put the candles on here, and I'll make these orange. We'll make it look nice, right? If we're here, we should do it. Should do it as best as we possibly can. All right. Here's Bitcoin. Here's total. And I wanna explore what happens when an asset gets above a previous complacency shoulder. All right. So we could probably go down to the weekly here. I would call this the complacency shoulder of last cycle. for Bitcoin. And the reason why is, we had this parabola and then we drop, bull's last stand, and then we enter a bear market, right? So this is our complacency shoulder. I would call this our complacency shoulder for Bitcoin. Again, we went up, we dropped, bull's last stand, then bear market. For total, let's take a look at it. Again, same complacency shoulder right here. And then again, I would call this our complacency shoulder somewhere right around here. So, what do we notice, right? When an asset gets back above a previous cycle complacency shoulder, what we typically see after is once you get reacceptance back into that like ultimate high time frame supply, we typically see, pretty rapid price appreciation. That doesn't mean there aren't pullbacks, but typically it means that, you can move up pretty aggressively. And again, we just got above it here for total. So I would expect, 2 trillion to hold, which would maybe imply a slight dip below it. But again, I really think that we have acceptance back into, this previous cycle supply, the final distribution of last cycle. And we're just kind of chopping around right now. And I would ultimately expect a resolution higher. Maybe it continues to pull back for a little bit. But again, shorting into support with a backloaded week and a monthly calendar rollover, in my opinion, is not it's not the recipe for success. It's not good RR, so I remain long until presented with new information. But guys, that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe before you go. Last but not least, check out the first link in the description below where you can sign up for our Discord. And within the next 30 days, you will also get free access included in your existing Discord membership to our new flagship product called the BB Terminal, which has portfolio tracking, derivatives data, heat maps, spaghetti charts, literally everything you need to succeed in the markets. The current Discord offers over 2 hours per day of live voice calls with Q&A with me and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team. We share active positions and premium setups that we don't talk about here on YouTube or on X. Truly, it's an unparalleled experience for guidance in these markets. You will absolutely love it. That's the first link in the description below. And again, in the next month, you're going to get access to BB Terminal for no additional cost. Second link in the description below is the BB Academy, guys. The BB Academy is a masterclass created by me and the Because Bitcoin team. We spent 6 months curating it. It's everything that you need to know. If you want to speed run your journey towards understanding how these markets work, how we all trade, mastering the arts of TA and FA, again, we can save you months, quarters, years, decades learning the wrong things. And again, we bundled it all right here for you guys in a convenient package called the BB Academy. We spent a lot of time on it. It's very, very fairly priced, but prices are going to go up soon. So again, if you want to expedite your journey towards learning how me and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team trade in these markets and enrich your trading career and future, learning the right things, check out the BB Academy in the second link below. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.